So this is a picture I've taken on my phone, and if we go ahead and right click and take a look at the properties, you can see we know it has a certain size. However, this file hides way more information than that. For example, in details, we can see the dimensions, the camera that was used to take it. So this is an iPhone 15 Pro. But much more scary than that is the fact that if we extract the EXIF data, we can get the exact GPS coordinates of where this image was taken, thereby giving the location of where I was at the time. So if I took this picture and posted it online, someone could download it, extract this data, and know that I was exactly off the coast of Florida in this particular location. And it doesn't take a lot of hacking to do this, just knowing what the file data contains, which is what we like to call metadata. Now, images, of course, are one of the most interesting things to look at because people post them everywhere on social media. Now, typical sites like Instagram or Facebook don't show this metadata publicly. They kind of strip the image of these details before they're posted. So it's not like anyone can download your image and get this information unless, of course, you post it privately in a blog or something like that. But technically, I guess the companies have access to that data. Scary, huh? The other important metadata that you can get is your IP address. So if you do a simple search to look up your IP address, you can kind of find out where it is. So right now, it looks like we are in Zurich, Switzerland, but that is because I'm using a VPN. But for most people, it's going to give you the nearest node of your ISP or internet service provider. Now, there are a lot of rumors about this, like people freak out online that somebody's got their IP address and now they're going to hack them. Doesn't exactly work like that, especially in the modern world with firewalls and everything, but it is a piece of information that an attacker could use to target you. Now, on your system itself, if you type msinfo32, that's the command that opens up all the system information that gives you the information about the processor you're using, the BIOS, the version number, basically everything about the computer. Now, these exact version numbers could be used by an attacker to target you with a specific vulnerability that your operating system might have. This is, of course, a virtual machine, so we have VMware, but it can give away your system manufacturer and some more details about your PC. More importantly, though, there is ipconfig, which gives you the details of the IP address and your network configuration. But also, if you go ipconfig/display DNS, this is going to give us a long list of every single website that the system has cached in recent times. So these are records telling us what websites we're visiting, what IPs they refer to. Haha, on a Windows system, it's fun to see we're connecting to some advertserve.com, prebid.advertserve.com. Gotta get those adverts. But again, this is a lot of private data that could be collected by an attacker to figure out what websites you're connecting to. Not critical, but important. Now, another thing to keep in mind is when you visit any website, they can get information about the browser and the device that you're using because that's the information that's provided to allow the page to load correctly. Now, for more in-depth information, attackers may use tools like Mimikatz to extract passwords or system credentials, the logins. If you use remote desktop, this could potentially be used to compromise you. So good advice is always to go into your settings, and if you have a system with Windows 11 Pro or 10 Pro, make sure you turn off remote desktop. Or if you have to use it, you can use a remote desktop whitelist. So it only allows certain computers to connect. You can look up how to do this online, but I hope you get the general idea. Every file, every action that you take online, including making posts on social media, usually contains a lot of metadata or additional information beyond what you're actually sharing. And that information can be used to track you, potentially find out a lot about where you are, what you're doing. And so from a cybersecurity perspective, it's always good to know about metadata. At the same time, to avoid paranoia, I just want to say that while we're talking about these subjects, it is very rare for someone to actually attack you based on your IP address, based on your GPS coordinates in the image, because like I said, if you post an image on social media, the EXIF data is removed. So it's not like anyone can download your GPS coordinates. Similarly, even if someone finds your IP address, it's very unlikely that it's going to lead them exactly to your house. It's more likely going to lead to the nearest ISP node that you're connected to. So it's good to know about these concepts to be aware, but also don't freak out. Now, as an average user, the threats that you're most likely to be affected by realistically are things like this: targeted phishing attacks, where they tell you you have some issue with your account, you try to log in, unblock it, whatever, and that's how they get your login credentials and you get your accounts hacked. Another way you might get your accounts hacked is by info stealers, and I've made several videos over the last year detailing info stealers. They're all over the place, in games, in mods, and if you get hit by either of these attacks, your data may very well end up on the dark web. As you can see, if we do a search for an info stealer like Redline, you can see a long list of data or logs on the dark web where your credentials might be exposed. And these logs are sold, they're exchanged between hackers, so once you get compromised, your data may be all over the place. As you can see, just for Redline, we have 45,000 results in the last month. If we do a similar search for Luma Stealer, and we can look into different categories like leaked credentials, and we can also select the severity. So we're going to get rid of anything that's low severity, just out of interest. You can see mentions on Russian hacker forums. And it's important to know that this is how a lot of organizations also get hacked, is via employees leaking their credentials and attackers using that to infiltrate the organization. If you'd like to check if any of your accounts might be compromised and your data might be on the dark web, you can use Flare, the sponsor of this video, who've been very nice to give us access to their platform. So you can type in your email address to do a search, and you can start off with a trial using the link in the description. It's going to be right below this video. Now, if you're an organization, they also have very interesting dashboard with overview of all your critical incidents. They can tell you if your employees have been compromised or if your systems start to appear in some kind of dark web forum. So do check them out. And of course, thank you all so much for watching this video. Do like and share it if you enjoyed it, found the tips helpful. Let me know what you'd like to see more on the PC Security channel. And as always, stay informed, stay secure.